Robin Hood tax is a tax on financial almost speculation between money transferred from one bank to another. It'll be a very, very low rate, probably 0.05% on all transactions, but it will raise tens of billions of pounds.
Okay, so would you support the introduction of Robin Hood tax?
Absolutely, it's in our manifesto.
And what would you use the money that would be raised through the Robin Hood tax for?
Well, actually, personally, I would like it to be an international tax used for, I think, two main areas: to help alleviate poverty throughout the world and to introduce renewable energy and insulation and to reduce climate change, growing more forests, tree planting, this sort of stuff to combat climate change. So alleviate poverty, combat climate change.
It's a small transaction tax. Every time there's a financial transaction, buying or selling monies on the market, a very small percentage, something like 0.05% tax is taken off that. A very, very small amount each time, but it all adds up and it would raise hundreds of millions of pounds on the large scale.
So would you support the introduction of such a tax?
It's something that our party said we would look at. We haven't said we would introduce it. Vince Cable said it's an interesting idea and he may well look at it as part of an overall package.
How would you choose to use the money that could be raised through the Robin Hood tax?
Well, there's lots of different ways. I mean, we're heading through a situation where we're nearly £1 trillion in debt, so there's finance required for a huge number of things, but I don't think I'd want to presume to say exactly what you'd spend it on at the moment, but we're going to need more money for social care, for transportation, for homes. There's a whole range, and I think that decision is perhaps a little early to decide on that.
The Robin Hood tax is a tax on financial institutions, and it's a tax on things that don't involve members of the public. It's about 0.05%, I think. And,
So would you support the introduction of the Robin Hood tax?
definitely, yeah. I think it's about time that the banks who put us into this mess paid some of the thing of getting us out of it.
How would you use the money that would be raised through the Robin Hood tax?
A number of things. Firstly, I'd personally use it to implement the high-speed broadband plan for giving access to everybody to high-speed broadband, because the benefits of the internet are massive. But I also use it for encouraging employment in the local area, because I know that's a particular problem in Leicester West.
Robin Hood tax is a tax where if you do a transaction, then with the banks, the money is taken out through the actual transaction, and then that would raise billions of pounds for good causes or extra money.
So how would you use the money that is raised through the Robin Hood tax?
I would like to take part of that money, or whatever Leicester West gets allocated, and put that into a skills college to train young people up in vital skills that we need to maintain our energy infrastructure.
So you would support the introduction of such a tax?
Yes.
My understanding is that it is a tax on the financial wheelings and dealings of international finance. So the idea is to basically grab a little bit of the vast amount of money that is traded every day in the money markets internationally and use it for the public good.
So you'd support the introduction of the Robin Hood tax?
I would support the introduction of the Robin Hood tax most definitely, although I don't personally think it goes far enough.
Okay. How would you use the money that could be raised through such a tax?
I think there's a lot of things that it is needed for public services, hospitals, schools, education in general. It could be used to improve pensions. It could be used to provide free education for university students. There's a long list of things.
The Robin Hood tax is a tax on financial transactions. So our banks are global and they do deals across the world, and this would be a tax on those transactions, and in order to get it you need lots of countries to sign up, because banks don't just work in one country.
Okay, so would you support the introduction of the Robin Hood tax?
Absolutely, and Gordon Brown, who's currently the Prime Minister, is one of the people who's leading those calls nationally.
And what would you use the revenue that would be raised through the Robin Hood tax for?
I'd invest it for public services. I think that early years services and care for our elderly population are really important priorities. We want to have people have care from cradle to grave, so that would be my priority.